everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video we are going to be ranking my favourite moments from season 4 of Miraculous Ladybug. Now, if you know, for the past couple of weeks I've been putting out forms, my community post. Yes, you'll find out what they're for very soon, don't worry. But I've been putting out 2 forms, and on both forms I asked you what was your favourite moment from the show, and a lot of people understood what I meant, but some of the people were like, what do you mean, what's my favourite moment? I was like, what do you mean you don't get it? Just, like, it's your favourite moment. So I thought I'd make this video, even though the forms are now closed, I thought I'd make this video going over my favourite moments from this season and ranking them all, and these moments are just going to be isolated moments irregardless of the rest of the episode. Now there are some, like looking at this list, there are some episodes that I don't have a favourite moment from. There's nothing from Truth, there's nothing from Soul Crusher, there's nothing from Furious Fear, there's nothing from Queen Banana. There are some episodes where there's nothing from at all. Doesn't mean I hated the episode, but just there was nothing in that episode to happen that was my favourite. So I have 20 moments. It just ended up being 20, a nice round number. If there was going to be 23, there would have been 23. And some of these are definitely Love Square related. You all know if you've been watching my videos for any length of time now, I am a Love Square stan. It's pretty much the entire reason why I watch the show, for the Love Square. I live for the Love Square. That is why I'm here. We dedicate pretty much every single Monday video to talking about the Love Square. Okay, you all know. I love the Love Square. However, some of these moments aren't related to the Love Square, although I feel like, yeah, the vast majority of them are. I think maybe like 5 aren't. Yeah, so basically these are moments from this season that have lived rent-free in my head. These are the moments that I've just been thinking about the most. Now, before anyone goes after you watch this video, we're like, oh, but you missed out this moment. I haven't missed it out. Just wasn't my favourite, okay? I have watched every single episode from this season at least 6 times, and some of the episodes I've enjoyed a bit more than 6. And I've also, at this point now, watched the entire season chronologically twice, all the way through. If your favourite moment from this season doesn't come up, I haven't missed it, it just wasn't my favourite moment, okay? I remember pretty much everything that happens, also it was a tiny detail. I remember pretty much everything from this season, so I haven't missed it. Just wasn't my favourite, okay? But if it's your favourite moment, then that's fine. If that's your favourite moment but it wasn't mine, then it's okay. Besties don't always agree, but besties always listen to each other, okay? So if it's your favourite moment, then I'm really happy for you. So these moments I'm going to list are definitely like happier moments from this season of the show. I think with the exception of one moment on this list, which is a bit sad, the rest of these moments are pretty happy. Yeah, I think they're all pretty happy. These are basically the moments that I can still remember my reaction to the first time I saw it and what my thoughts have been on it since, because I really enjoyed this season. Even though my commentary videos I think sometimes are a bit like, not so sure about this episode, overall I did like the season. I think it was good, even if you don't agree. So these moments I'm going to talk about are my favourites from the show, and they've really made an impact on me, and are definitely more happier moments from the season. However, I think we have to do it. I have 3 honourable mentions before we get started into the proper list, because these are moments that have traumatised me, and like just as I'm about to sleep these moments come back to me and I jerk back awake and I'm like, oh god, that again. So the 3 honourable moments mentions are, first of all, from episode 10, Mega Leech, the inside of Nino's ears. Thank you. Next is from episode 23, Kuroneko, when Adrian throws sock plag in the bin. Ended me. You okay? He's here. Oh no, he fell down. No, sock plag! There you go, there you go. He's okay, I'm sorry. And then the other honourable moment that made me sad, but I can't stop thinking about it, is the Strike Back sewers scene. How dare they desecrate the original sewer scene from Heroes Day? How? I'm not having it. So those are the 3 honourable mentions. They're definitely not necessarily happy moments from the show, but they definitely left an impact on me. So now let's get into my top 20 moments from this season. And coming in at last place, and by the way, when I say last place, I don't mean like it's a bad moment just compared to like what's at number 1. I didn't enjoy it as much, but I remembered it enough that it's on this list, you know? So when I say last place, I mean last place with the highest regard. I'd rather be last place of the 20 top moments than last place of the worst all-time Miraculous moments ever. Oh, that would be fun. A video on my top 20 least favourite moments from the show. Just the entirety of Simple Man, Animaestro, and Santa Claus. Done! So anyway, in 20th place is from the episode Lies. So like I said, I'm not a big fan of Lies. This video is not going to be about how much I enjoyed the episode these moments are in. It's just about the moment itself, irregardless of the rest of the episode. And this moment is towards the start of the episode. And I doubt anyone else thoroughly enjoyed this moment the way I did. But it's when Cat Noir is in the park, he's sat on a bench with Mr. Banana on one side and Mr. Rame on the other. And I love it. I've had the picture saved on my computer for ages now. Oh, those are like three of my favourite characters. My favourite characters, so at the top we have Mark. You all know I love Mark. Then it's Natalie. I love my girl Natalie. She better be okay. Then it's Mr. Banana. Then it's Mr. Rame. Then it's Adrian, Marinette, and then Alia. They are three of my favourite characters, and I just love how natural the scene is when Mr. Banana's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit in the park in my banana suit. Wonderful. Like I said, no one else probably cares about that tiny little moment in Lies. But I love it with all of my heart. And the next moment, moment 19, is also from Lies, and it's when Cat Noir is at the hotel and he's drinking some milk. Now, I don't think, maybe some of you know this, maybe I mentioned it before, I don't think I talk about it that often, but my favourite drink in the whole world, I know some people will hate me for this, is milk. So imagine my absolute delight to have a moment in an episode centred around milk, plus it shows Cat Noir with his more like cat-like tendencies, which I really enjoy in the show. Like I think it's in the episode Troublemaker when Cat Noir comes into Marinette's house and his ears like jiggle because he hears something really quiet. Like we hardly ever get that sort of stuff, so I like it when he has his more cat-like tendencies. And by cat-like tendencies I don't mean like Adrian meowing at Miss Bustier in Ephemeral, not that kind of cat-like tendency, but just small things like the ears jiggling or night vision or drinking milk and stuff like that. I love milk, but I think it's also a really, really cute scene. Moment 18 is from Mr. Pigeon 72, and no, it's not the umbrella scene, and it's towards the start of the episode. So Marinette's arrived at the pool, her and Adrian kind of nearly drowned together, and then in the back behind them, so not even in the foreground, in the background, is Mr. Ramier giving Edgar the pigeon CPR. I remembered it all this time. I remember the first time I saw that episode. I was in London, it was my brother's birthday, and I was like, well, unfortunately you're gonna have to wait for me to come and celebrate with you, because first things first, I need to watch an episode of a kids TV show and make a video on it, and then I will come and meet you for your birthday. And he was like, okay, that's fine with me, fortunately. So I stayed at the hotel to do this, and even though it came out in French first, so I watched it in French, it made me laugh so much. I mean, I love pigeons, and like I said before, I also love Mr. Ramier, and I think maybe some people didn't even see it, and it's just such a golden moment. I'm like, yes, yes, I think it's amazing. In 17th place is from episode 9, Daddy Agrest, and this moment is of the moments kind of together of Marino, I'm never sure how to say it, Marinette as the waiter. She is amazing in that episode. I really like how in Gabriel Agrest, Marinette and Adrian take a more backseat, and they're kind of like the side characters, and not so much for Adrian but for Marinette certainly. Her and Chloe are like the comic relief in the episode, and I just think every single time she's Marino, she's absolutely hilarious. Marino is an absolute icon. I love her so much. Then in 16th place is from episode 14, Senti Bubbler. It's the first time we see Shadow Daddy with his Starbies. I still remember the first time I saw it in the trailer. We had it like as a running joke on the channel for a couple of weeks about Starbucks. And I actually, I try and stay away from ever communicating with Thomas Astrup because I'm scared he'll block me, because he blocks people for anything and everything, to be honest. But I did ask him what Shadow Moth Starbucks order was. He didn't reply, which I was quite sad about actually. But he didn't ever reply, but I still thought I just thought it was funny. I remember I don't usually remember what I say in my trailer analyses, especially after late at night, and I'm pretty sure Gloob released the trailer for Scenty Bubbler first, and if it's a Gloob trailer it's on so late, I usually end up going to bed at 1 in the morning, and because I'm so tired I forget what I say, so I read all the comments in the morning when I wake up and everyone was like, that was hilarious, and I'm like, what did I even say? I don't remember because I get so tired, so I have to go back and rewatch the video myself. I remember saying in the video something like, Shadow Daddy's like, okay Natalie, we gotta go and do this first, but first of all, can you get me a Starbucks and I'm gonna go and terrorise this teenage girl? Something along those lines. But I don't know why, for whatever reason I find it so funny. I guess because Shadow Moth, he's pretty much always in his lair, and then he's just doing something so normal, which is just getting out for a cup of coffee, but then he's just stood drinking it on a rooftop. I'm sorry, I have a weird sense of humour, but I thought him stood there on the roof with his Starbucks was absolutely hilarious. The next moment, moment 15, is from episode 10, Mega Leech, and it's the opening with Marinette and Ivan, kind of starting from when Marinette is in the bathroom to when she goes back outside to meet Ivan. I really like Mega Leech in general, particularly for Polymouse's debut, but also the way they handled anxiety. I have anxiety. I know not everyone experiences anxiety the same way as each person, so obviously it's just the way I've compared to my anxiety. I feel like Mega Leech did a good job in representing it, and I really liked how it's done at the start of this episode, and I also really like a bit of Marinette and Ivan. They are so sweet together, and we hardly ever get to see them, I think. Yeah, apart from Stoneheart, the only time I can really think of is in Zombie Zoo when they kiss each other. Yeah, they don't really have too many couple moments, which I understand. They're very much like a background characters, get very few lines. I understand why we don't get many Myvan moments, but that scene is so cute. Plus I really love the way the anxiety is handled as well. In 14th place is from episode 12, Crocodile, and it's right at the end with Juleka and Jagged where they have like a father-daughter bonding moment and they hug each other. This moment is just so sweet, and in my opinion, comparing it to the end of Truth when Luca talks to Jagged, I feel like this moment is just so much nicer. I guess it's quite different since Luca was akumatized in that episode and he also broke up with his girlfriend, so the background behind that moment right at the end of Truth with Luca and his dad is very different to this one, where in this one Juleka becomes a superhero and she saves her parents, and it's also her birthday. She's having a party with all her friends there, so I understand it's a very different atmosphere, but this moment was so sweet and cute, and I would definitely love to see more of their relationship. Probably won't happen. Juleka hardly says anything. Jagged also very much a background character as well, so I doubt we'll get many more like family moments between any of them, but I just think this moment's so sweet. I really think it's cute. In 13th place is from episode 22, Ephemeral, where Marinette reveals herself to Adrian. Now, as you all know, Ephemeral is definitely not one of my favourite episodes, however I do really like both of the reveal scenes, and Marinette's is so cute how so Adrian de-transforms, she sees him, and then he goes to leave and she's like, wait, I'm ready now, and she just de-transforms and he's blushing and gasping, and then he just goes in to hug her, and they're both so shy but they just want to be together, and it's so tender and so cute. I love it. I know the proper reveal probably isn't going to go like that because a lot has happened now between Ephemeral and Strike Back. I know it was only 4 episodes, but a lot has happened between Ephemeral and the end of Strike Back. I doubt it's going to be the same, but I just loved how Adrian was like, you know what, I don't care. Like, he was the same in Cat Blanc. Like, Marinette needed a whole episode of convincing in Ephemeral that yep, she is indeed love with Adrian, who is Camelot, whereas Adrian was like, both in Ephemeral and in Cat Blanc, he was like, you're one of my best friends, of course I love you. And I do genuinely feel like Adrian isn't lying in that moment for sure. Like, I think it's because of my Adrian agenda I've been pushing all season, but I definitely feel Adrian has some underlying feelings for Marinette, but because of how he feels about Ladybug and because of his sheltered upbringing, he doesn't understand, so he doesn't really know what to do about it, so he just kind of leaves it. But like the way he looks at her some of the times, for example like in the opening and in the ending of Psychomedian, like, you like her, you idiot! But the moment The moment is so cute. I love their little faces in that scene. They are so sweet together. In 12th place is from episode 15, Glaciator 2, and it is Marinette and Cat Noir's umbrella walk in the rain on the way back from the cinema. Now this umbrella scene is very different to the other umbrella scenes in the show, even the ones that didn't happen anymore, like in Cat Blanc and Ephemeral. All the other umbrella scenes we've got have been pretty emotional and romantic, whereas this umbrella scene was like a more platonic umbrella scene rather than like a kind of slightly romantic. Like for example the one in Origins is, like the one in Mr. Pigeon 72, like in Cat Blanc, like in Ephemeral. This is like a nice fun friendly walk in the rain, but I do really like Marinette, you all know I do, but also just for like their interaction. It allows Marinette to see Cat Noir in a more sensible light, and it also allows Adrian to see Marinette for who she really is, because she's got better at it this season, but she's such a stuttering mess around Adrian. She can never cope. It always makes me laugh in the flashback from Psychomedian. I can't remember what episode it's originally from. When Alia pushes Marinette, oh, it's from the bubbler, right? She's got the present and she hides it and she's like, hi! And Adrian's like, because he's so weirded out by her. But oh yeah, she's definitely got a lot better, but I love how the Marinette moments, particularly this one, allowed him to see her in a different light. Honestly, I could have picked a lot of moments from this episode. Like I thought the scenes on the balcony were absolutely hilarious when she was practicing her confession in different ways and he was doing different facial expressions. It was really funny, but I think compared to those two, compared to the balcony scenes, I personally really loved the umbrella scene. In 11th place is from episode 21, Dearest Family, and it's the Cat Noir and Ladybug Pound It. Now you've heard me talk ad nauseum about how where this episode falls in the timeline of the show doesn't quite make sense, but ignoring that, I love this Pound It. It's so cute where he puts on the crown and he's like, will you be my queen? She puts on her crown, they do a Pound It. I love it. I love it. I just think it's so super cute. It's so sweet. I am hoping and praying that eventually, as this next season progresses and Lady Noir returns to some semblance of normalcy, I'm not 100% sure that's going to happen yet, but once it starts getting back to where it was, they get back to a somewhat good place, you know? We get cute moments like that again, because that moment in Dearest Family, chef's kiss perfection. In 10th place is from episode 16 and it's the ending to Haxan, and I don't mean the entire last scene, I literally mean the ending shot before the end card where we see Cat Noir's eyes with Ladybug reflected in them. It's so beautiful and it just shows to us, the audience, pretty much all what Cat Noir cares about. Adrian doesn't particularly care that much about himself, and with the way his dad's been treating him, as we found out in Glaciator 2, he doesn't particularly care that much for his father. I'm not saying he doesn't love him, of course he does, but just the way Adrian is, he's so focused on Ladybug, and it just shows wholeheartedly how much he is there for her, which has just made this season so... Like, don't get me wrong, it's been a good season, I've enjoyed it, and I understand why they made the decisions they did with Ladybug walking out Cat Noir, and I think it was done well, but it just made my soul hurt to see Cat Noir be shut out. It was done very well, don't get me wrong, but it, you know, it still hurts, you know, it's done well, but it's not a favourite thing of mine. But it was just, I find the moment so heartbreaking but also so beautiful, like it looks visually stunning. I find it so heartbreaking because he's 110% there for Ladybug, as we find out at the end of Strike Back. And even though she says you're irreplaceable, Kitty, you spent all season replacing him, mate. Don't lie to him. You deserve better than that, mate. You know, like, but anyway, the moment looks absolutely stunning. I love it so much. And in 9th place is from episode 22 from Ephemeral, and this time it's Adrian's reveal. So I prefer Adrian's reveal a bit more than Marinette's reveal, just because I find it funny but also cute at the same time. So he's like, I'm Adrian Agreste, and she's like, oh yeah, and I'm Audrey Bourgeois, and he's like, oh no, I'm being serious. And he transforms, and then we get that long zoom in onto Ladybug's face where it just dawns on her like, oh, it's you, the boy that I secretly love. I just love the look on her face. And then she's like, and then Vipirion's like, what do I do? And she's like, and she just completely loses it. And as she leaves the Eiffel Tower, you see like a split second of her face and she's just completely like, what do I do? What have I done? No, what? And she just doesn't know what to do. And I just think the whole moment is executed so perfectly. I think it's hilarious, but also at the same time really, really sweet. So yeah, I personally prefer it to Marinette's reveal. Like, Marinette's is very sweet and tender all the way through, whereas this one is sweet whilst at the same time also being funny. And as you know from all the memes I post and the meme review and how much I like to be funny in general, hopefully you will find me funny to some degree, I like this moment for the balance between the two. In 8th place is from episode 13, Optigami, and no, it's not the elevator scene. I hated all the elevator scenes. Like, they were okay, but like they didn't talk to each other, so like why would it be on this list? So instead, from Optigami, you knew it was coming. From Optigami, one of my favourite moments of the season was Lady B's debut. The birth of an actual icon. Lady B? Lady B, who is she? Lady B. I can't even find the words to describe her. She just changed the game. She was stunning, she was beautiful. If I could, I would marry her right here, right now. Lady B was a cultural reset. You know what, oh my, she is stunning. I remember seeing a video, I didn't even watch the video, but all it said in the thumbnail was Lady B's outfit was awful. And I couldn't bring myself to watch it, and I was like, I know we're all entitled to our opinions. And I know I said at the start of this video, besties don't always agree with each other, but besties always listen to each other's opinions. And sometimes I agree, especially where fashion, a very subjective area, is concerned. Everyone has their own opinions. However, as Dr. Holly from Dance Mum says, you are entitled to your wrong opinion.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion, that's fine. Bam!
And that person was 100% entitled to their wrong opinion because they are wrong. Lady B's outfit, the whole thing, not just the hair, the whole thing, was a work of art. It deserves to be put in a museum. Oh my god, how anyone thinks it's a bad outfit is quite literally beyond my realms of thought right now. How can you if you think this is a bad outfit, tell me in the comments. If you're brave enough, tell me in the comments. She's wonderful. I love Lady B. Lady B is amazing. Okay, if you think otherwise, I'm not very happy with you. Sorry, bestie. In 7th place is from episode 26, Strike Back, and this is the one that's a bit more sad, but it is the whole like sequence. I'm classing this as like a longer moment. It's the whole sequence from when Ladybug arrives at Adrian's room to get the dog Miraculous, and he's like, you what now? And she realises it's Felix, up until she leaves his bathroom after she finds out what Felix has done. And like I said, obviously very depressing. It's not something I enjoy. It makes me sad and oh gosh, yeah, it's not something I enjoy to watch, but I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think it was done absolutely amazingly with it being written so well, with the back and forth between Adrian and Ladybug, and then Felix and Daddy Agreste, with it splitting between them, going back and forth, written so well, and also acted really, really well. Now, actually, I remember the first time I saw Strike Back, and the first few times I saw Strike Back, I didn't actually register. Marinette was having a panic attack in the Portuguese, just went straight over my head. Didn't register it until I watched the English, like, did the English come out like the day after, 2 days after? It came out shortly afterwards. I didn't realise she was having a panic attack until then, which was weird because I have anxiety, I also have panic disorder, I get a lot of panic attacks. You think, of all people, I'd be one of them who goes like, oh yeah, you're having a panic attack. It just didn't register with me when I watched the episode, so I definitely preferred the English version of this whole sequence, and once I did watch the English version, I thought the panic attack was done so well. It was so, oh, I just thought it was amazing from start to finish, up until when Ladybug arrives at Adrian's house, up until when she leaves out the bathroom window. Amazingly well done, all the emotions and the relationships, like when Adrian says, if you're going to choose a moment to trust me, you gotta choose now, it's gotta be now, you know? And then Felix trading it, oh, so well done from a writer's perspective. Yes, it was upsetting. Didn't upset me as, well, traumatise me as much as the inside of Nina's ears and sock plag and the sewers strike back scene. Lord give me strength. But I thought it was so well done, and I have been thinking about it a lot. I think it's a really, really good piece of writing. Honestly, just in general, Risk and Strike Back are really good examples of writing. That's why I get so annoyed with the show. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I get so annoyed with the show because we know they can write really good episodes. Risk and Strike Back were amazing. And then they give us episodes like Simple Man. Like, I know it was a filler episode, but Psycho Medium was as well. And was so much better. This isn't the video for this, but yeah, I had to include that whole sequence in this list because I think it's just amazing. Yeah, I thought it was wonderful. So in 6th place is from episode 18, Wishmaker, which was both of the reveals with Luca. I couldn't pick one over the other. I thought they were both great, and I love Luca's face when he finds out who both of them are. Like, he finds out Marinette first, and Luca was just like, oh god, okay, well I understand now why he broke up with me, what the secret was. Okay, fair enough. And then 2 minutes later he finds out who Cat Noir is, and he's like, I have seen everything now. I can die in peace. I have finally seen everything. And you don't need to see anything else. I am done. I have won at life. And now I know I will never have another chance with Marinette. I felt so bad for him, but also at the same time, the reason why it's on this list is because every single time I have watched Wishmaker since, and Wishmaker is definitely one of my more favourite episodes, so I think I've seen this episode about 10 times now. Every single 10 times I've watched this episode, even though I know it's coming, apart from the first time, even though I know it's coming, I'm still getting excited, like my heart starts going. That's why it's on this list. So even though I know it's coming, it still gets me, yeah, so like it's a spine tingling moment for me. I love this scene from Wishmaker. In 5th place is from episode 4, Mr. Pigeon 72, which is of course the umbrella scene from that episode. I still remember the first time I watched this, I was smiling the whole time from start to finish. It was so sweet, especially, like, I know he's left the umbrella at this point, but because Adrian is distracted by Marinette, he hits his head on the car. Yes! I think it's so sweet. It just shows how nicely their relationship is progressing, but because of what Felix did, now Marinette's going to be traumatised by Adrian's face. This episode, this next season's gonna test me. Like a lot. But oh god, this scene is so cute, and like I said, it shows the nice progression of their relationship and Adrian finally starting to fall for Marinette. In 4th place is from episode 3, Gang of Secrets, and it is of course when Marinette, right at the end of the episode, tells Ladybug who she is. I still remember so clearly the first time I saw her. I was sat on my bed, it was a Saturday morning, I was still in my pyjamas and I was watching it live on TF1 player. And I screamed. My entire family came running and they were like, what's happened, what's happened? And I just said, Marinette's told Elliot she's Ladybug. And both of my brothers left. And they were like, right, okay, thanks. My mum stayed and she was like, you can't even speak French. I was like, I can speak enough to know Je suis Ladybug means I am Ladybug. I can still hear, like, I've only ever seen that episode I think 3 times in French. The rest of the times I watched it has always been in English. Like, I watched it 3 times in French for the video I made on it, and then I never watched it again until the English came out. But I can still remember the way she said Je suis Ladybug. Like, it was such... Like, I kind of felt like she was going to reveal her identity to someone, and as the scene went on and the other girls left, I was like, oh my god, she's going to tell Alia, she's going to tell Alia. I could like feel it building, and then she was... Yeah, that's how much that scene makes me feel. So now in 3rd place, and the top 3 are probably a little bit controversial because I feel like at least 2 of these are some of your favourite moments from the season, but you probably wouldn't have placed this one so low, is from episode 26, Strike Back, the ending is in 3rd place. Now don't get me wrong, like, this is top 3 of my favourite moments from the entire season as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a bad moment by any stretch of the mark, but there are 2 other parts of the show that I enjoyed just a bit more, but the ending to Strike Back, I think we can all agree, was so moving and beautiful and perfect in so many ways. A really perfect way to end such a traumatic season. I was really worried when they said it was going to end on a cliffhanger that it would be like a really tense, horrible cliffhanger. However, it's a cliffhanger that kind of However, it was a cliffhanger that does kind of resolve some of the stuff going on whilst leaving it very open-ended, but whilst also leaving, I feel, the audience satisfied with how it ended. Like, don't get me wrong, like the amount of theory videos I've already made about next season, I've already made quite a lot, so there's a lot to discuss still. I've got a lot more to make still, okay? So I don't mind how open-ended it was left, but it was perfectly rounded off with the scene. So well done. I love the rain, I love the crying, Ladybug's blushing, the way Cat Noir was there for her. I've seen a lot of talk online about how Cat Noir would have shouted at her, and I'm like, why would he have? First of all, let's remember the context. He's just seen her have a panic attack in his bathroom. Alright, and Adrian, well actually I think most people, if they've just seen you have a panic attack, they're not about to start shouting at you when they already know you're traumatised. Like, Adrian already knows that Ladybug knows she's made this huge mistake. She already knows. She's had a panic attack over it, and now she's sat outside crying in the rain. She quite obviously knows what she's done is pretty bad. She already knows. How would it help him then shouting at her? She already knows. Like, when my niece spills a drink, she knows she's made a mistake. I say, oh, could you please try not to do that again? And we clean it up together. Like, most people I've found respond better to not screaming at them. So, you know, why would he have shot at her? But anyway, it was so perfectly done. Amazing showcase of especially Adrian's character, but also Marinette's character as well. It was so beautiful and poignant. I thought it was amazing. Although I think for many of you, this moment is definitely going to be the top of your list. And I think another high moment for a lot of you on your list as well is my number 2 spot, which is from episode 25 from Risk, and is, of course, the prison ball scene. It is so sweet. If you saw my Risk reaction video, I get so excited the first time I see the scene. I was absolutely beyond elated to see the scene in the episode. Oh my gosh, like, I've always said that Marinette is the only one who sees Adrian for who he truly is without even seeing the Cat Noir side to him. She is the only one who's perceptive enough to see what's truly going on with him. And this scene was so perfect, and even though they were in this courtyard full of other people and in the background noise you can hear them, it feels like they're the only 2 people there. You know, just when you just get so invested in talking to someone, even though there are other people around, it only feels like it's the 2 of you, even though there are other people. It was like they were trapped in this little bubble together in the school courtyard. I forgot about everyone else in the scene. It was so beautiful. I loved it so much. Now, at my top number 1 spot, and I think a lot of you have thought I was joking about how much I love this scene. It's not a joke, I am deadly serious. A lot of you already know what it is. But my top number 1 favourite moment from this entire season of Miraculous Ladybug is from episode 11, Guilt Trip, and it is the boiler room scene. Now, it's not the boiler room scene for like what happens with Juleka. I don't care about that aspect of the scene. It's for Adrian and Marinette's interaction. More specifically, the way Adrian stares at Juleka. Let's recreate the scene. So Juleka is sat crying against the boiler, probably. I've literally like blocked out Juleka from the scene. Juleka doesn't factor into my enjoyment of this scene. Then Adrian and Marinette both kneel down, so Marinette's like this and Adrian's like this. And they're both talking to Juleka, like trying to be nice and calm and understanding. And Adrian's smiling quite nicely at Juleka, like, yeah, we're here for you, we're your friend. Then Adrian turns to look at Marinette. Marinette's not looking at him, she's talking to Juleka. He turns to look at Marinette. And then the look he gives, such a charged look, not like I'm gonna punch you. It's like, I'm about to propose to your ear kind of look, you know what I mean? And then he turns back to Juleka. And the smirk on his face. Oh my god, the smirk on his... Such a beautiful scene. It is pure brilliant cinematic perfection. Oh my gosh. And I don't think anyone else, I mean, to be fair, I really enjoy Guilt Trip just in general. I don't think anyone else enjoyed Guilt Trip as much as I do, like, at all. I think most people would rank Guilt Trip quite low on their season ranking for season 4, whilst I'm like, this is definitely a top 10 episode with the best moment from the entire season in it. I can replay that scene in my head with my eyes closed. When I am bored, I close my eyes and rewatch the scene in my head. The dialogue of the scene isn't important. I don't care what's going on with Julika. The way you look at her! Oh my god. It's so wonderful. I love it so much. Like, I know this scene, obviously Guilt Trip was like one of the, so I think it aired, it was Furious Fu, Truth, Lies, Gang of Secrets, then Guilt Trip, so it was the 5th episode to air, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, because I cut my hair after Guilt Trip. In the Guilt Trip commentary, my hair's down here, but in Mr. Pigeon 72, my hair's up here. Yeah, I remember I cut my hair after Guilt Trip. But just, I know that obviously aired a while ago. I think it aired probably nearly a year ago now. So obviously that's had a year to ruminate in my head, whereas the scenes from Risk and Strike Back have only had a month, 2 months to do that. But like, I've thought about them occasionally and I'm like, yeah, they're good scenes. But I kid you not, from the very first time I saw Guilt Trip, I have thought about this moment every single day. I'm not lying or exaggerating. I have genuinely thought about the Guilt Trip boiler room scene every single day since. I'm not lying. I love this scene. Not for the dialogue, not for the plot progression with Julika in the episode. For the way Adrian looks at Marinette. It's wonderful. I bet most people didn't even notice, okay, I understand that, and I bet the ones who did notice probably didn't even care or enjoy it as much as me. And like I said, I doubt anyone enjoys Guilt Trip as thoroughly as I do. I know I am definitely on my own with enjoying Guilt Trip this much. But I love this scene so much. I have never once been joking. Any single time I have mentioned the Guilt Trip boiler room scene as being my favourite scene, I have been deadly serious every single time. Okay, and it's on you if you didn't believe me. I love this scene. I'm sorry. It has been my favourite moment of the season. Like I said at the start of the video, in order to make videos on the show, I have seen, at least for this season anyway, all of the episodes at least 6 times. Like I said, for Wishmaker, one of my more favourite episodes from the season, I've seen it about 8 to 10 times. And with Guilt Trip, I've seen Guilt Trip nearly 30 times. There was once, I had a lot of PhD work to do one week, but you know, you still need to take breaks in between the work you're doing, even if it is important. You still need to take breaks in order for your brain to recover. So typically I'll work for an hour, then have a 20-minute break. So I probably have about, 5 20-minute breaks in a day, not including lunch and then dinner at night and stuff. And for all 5 of those 20-minute breaks, I watched Guilt Trip all the way through 5 times in one day. I really like Guilt Trip. Such a good episode. The reason why it wasn't number 1 on my ranking spot is because I didn't particularly think it was written very well, and even though I am a writer, sometimes when something isn't written that well, it doesn't get ranked as high, which I understand, it's fine. I didn't mind Risk being my highest rank episode because it was very enjoyable and one of the best written episodes from this season. The Guilt Trip writing in comparison to Risk and Strike Back is a lot weaker, but Guilt Trip has been one of my favourite episodes from this season, quite clearly. And also has one of my, not just one of my favourite moments from this season, one of my all-time favourite moments from the show as a whole. Yeah. Oh my god, right, so that was my top number 1 moment. I'm sorry if all this season you thought I was joking about how much I love the Guilt Trip boiler room scene, but I haven't been. I genuinely love it. If I could marry a scene, I'd marry the Guilt Trip boiler room scene. Lady B and the Guilt Trip boiler room scene. That's who I want to marry. Lady B in the Guilt Trip boiler room. Oh my god, could you imagine if we got another redo of the scene where it was Lady B and Cat Noir there and he looked at her like that instead? Kill me now. I couldn't handle it. Right, anyway, I've talked too much about the boiler room scene, but those are my top 20 moments from this season, my favourite 20 parts of this season. I'd of course love to know what your favourite moments were from this season, whether they're Love Square related or not. As you saw, most of those moments were Love Square related. I think there was only probably like 5 or 6 that didn't really have much to do with the Love Square, but as you know, I am here for the show for the Love Square. I don't watch it for the superhero stuff. I actually can't stand superheroes most of the time. Sorry. But I'd love to know what your favourite moments from this season as a whole were, besties, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!